Hi guys, my name is Emily DeSimone with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me today I have Luke Whitney, Seamus Duffy, Billy Kubaki, and Cullen Hussey. How are you guys all doing today?
Good.
Good. How about you?
Great. So guys, the film, Earl, do you want to talk about, your roles in the film as well as giving a tidbit of the film to our live viewers?
Well, yeah. So I wrote and directed the film. I originally started as a little short two years ago now, and it just briefly started as this kind of goofy thing that I wanted to do. See some guy in a trash bag roasting a marshmallow, and then I kind of came up with an idea for a longer movie. So this 15-minute film is just a proof of concept of what we actually want to make.
Yeah. So that would be the feature film, and then so I'm Cullen Hussey, and I was a producer and actor on the film. So I play the main character, Paul London, but
I remember the first time when when this kid hits me up going, "Hey, I know a perfect role for you," and I'm like, "All right, well, if it's better than the other short film that we did like a couple months ago," he's like, "Yeah, no, it's better. You'll like it a lot more." And then we did like that 2-minute short. You said 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago now.
About 2 years ago, and I just this kid right here was obsessed with it. Like he just kept writing more about it, kept working hard on it. He loves the concept of it, and it's just
so he was the title character of Earl. So
I couldn't go say no.
So, and Luke, you were the cinematographer on this, the director of photography. So, with the writing, what inspired the writing for Earl?
What inspired the writing?
The writing?
So I saw a film called Swiss Army Man, and it's a film about this guy stranded on an island, and he finds a dead corpse, and the dead corpse comes to life and kind of teaches him about life and everything. So something about having this odd story and this odd thing represents so much about life really inspired me, and it was like, why can't I just do that about like a marshmallow or like someone wearing a trash bag? So that's where I came at with that.
And then, I would like to add in when he first came to me. We were in high school at this point. So we were in we went to a tech school. So it was like half the day we went to our tech school for like film. So in that class he brought the script to me. I remember just reading it, kind of being like, "What is this idea?" And then he revamped the script. And I was like, I really dig this. So it was a fun one to do, and I got to expand my mind with the visuals, with how it was like with life, and really showing off life of nature. So it was kind of fun.
So you guys all came together in high school?
And
yes.
Have you since graduated high school?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all graduated. Yeah.
And are you all like furthering education in film, or at least work in film?
Here that actually is going to film school is Seamus, and he's going, and all the rest of us are kind of just trying to figure out if we can try to
that's
pursue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to that tech school, so we kind of learned a lot in those 3 years that we were actually there. Since we're all passionate about filmmaking, I'm assuming they did also. Really like learned outside of school also, while also being in school with being able to learn all this. So we learned a lot.
You were all studying film at this vocational school?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So what is it that got you guys into wanting to study filmmaking?
Oh man.
Well, I know, like I've been trying to be in film like literally my whole life. Like there's videos of me at 2 years old doing impressions and recording it and trying to create a story and things like that. So filmmaking I've always wanted to do. And so that that I finally found out about MBIT and was able to meet these guys.
Yeah,
through
shout
that.
out Middle Bucks, man.
Yeah,
For real.
Mr. Davey. He's a good guy.
Shout out
Jim
Mr. Davey.
Shout out Mr. Davey, man. You really made us the filmmakers that we are now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
So Seamus, Billy, like Luke, like what got? I mean, like Cullen was saying he was doing it when he was like 2, trying to get into it. So what about the rest of you? Like, what got the rest of you guys into it?
So I grew up really loving movies, but I never kind of understood that this was something that I could do for a long time. And then I started around when, like, I want to say like when like 2014, when like a big movie for me was the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It kind of showed me, like, introduced me to the people behind the process and got me interested. And then going to Middle Bucks kind of taught me, like, oh, this is actually somewhat possible. And we did it's really bad. We did an Office parody, and it's a really, really bad film. Like, it's so bad. But showing it to everyone and making people laugh gave me such a feeling that I never want to give up. It's something that I want to continue for the rest of my life.
That's kind of like how I was, except honestly, I didn't really get like same with y'all. I've always loved films throughout my life, but then I never realized that, honestly, till I walked into high school, that I could do this for a living. Like, I could try and do this for a living, and that's why I went to Middle Bucks. Like all of us here, and we met all of us, and we found the same passion that we all wanted to do, which was basically what you said, is to make the audience feel certain emotions, and just hit the ground running from there.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
Yes. No.
And then for me, I mean, yeah, I've also always been. I mean, I've been into, like, I wouldn't say movies specifically. Like, yeah, I've always been into, shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Spider-Man, all like the comic stuff. But I mean, ever since 7, I've just been making videos just for fun and posting them to YouTube. And as I got older, my middle school era was kind of more experimenting with the editing, and high school was really experimenting with actual film. And I kind of just saw the process kind of just ballooned into making more stuff now.
So, with that said, Billy, you directed and you wrote, and then Seamus, Cullen, Luke, you all co-produced on top of Luke being director of cinematography. So, what would you say this, Earl, what would you say it taught you about your specific, like, role in doing it? Like, I know that, a few of you acted in it, and then again, like with directing and writing, what was like an obstacle that you ran into, or something that, you think is going to better you in that, like, particular role moving forward with more work?
One thing one thing that I learned was that things for shooting this, it was all outdoors. So we had a lot of trouble with weather and sunlight and really cracking down on getting these shots. So it started becoming really stressful. So I kind of started realizing this and taking, like, okay, if saying, like, we can't get this shot, it's about to rain today, you kind of have to take 10 seconds to yourself and kind of think about, okay, this sucks, freak out, and then you have to completely lose everything and just be like, okay, what do we do now? We have to move on and keep going. That's something that it was a huge part of this film and taught me for other short films that we did.
I was also gonna say, like, in all honesty, the first time making Earl, it really started everything.
Yeah,
really, it made us realize that, hey, let's actually try and be like a studio.
Yeah,
and make short films on YouTube.
That first film, which hopefully you won't see it. The first iteration of it that took place in the snow originally, and it was so cold. And
I love it personally.
Had to roll around in the snow in just a button shirt and dress pants, and it wasn't too fun. But what was so different about this one was we had time, really, with this one. That's what really changed it, is we were able to really, because we had a feature developing for it as well, we knew more about these characters. And that was something that I got to focus on in this one and kind of grow into, was completely changing. The character comes from Vermont and moved to New York, and so I was trying to find his voice and things like that. I had to come up with the Vermont accent mixed with the East Coast, and it was a lot of fun, developing this guy that is very different from me, and I was happy to be able to find a different character in there.
It was really interesting since we had that, like I had wrote the feature, there was like probably like 72 pages of like a whole new character than we did the first one, because the first time I kind of just said walk in the woods. That's what I told him to do. But this time I didn't really have to direct Colin so much because it was all in that feature. Like you just give it to him and he could know who this guy is. And for Seamus, I had the first one, I told him not to act, and that like I kind of looked at it like that was a stupid idea. So I kind of approached this one kind of saying, if you think about it like how a dog thinks about it, a dog, when they look at something, you can't tell what they're saying from their face. You tell how they move their head or how they bark. So that's what I took with that, and I really made that a part of Earl. So yeah.
I also remember when I first put on the trash bag. When we first entered the first shoot and I took off that trash bag, I was like, ain't no way I'm being this character multiple times again. And then here we are again. No, I'm all kidding. It's all jokes. I really enjoyed being Earl the first time, and I'm like, you know what? This is a very interesting character. Will I ever do this again? And here we are.
And so, Luke, I mean, as director of photography, what would you say was something that you learned from this experience?
So, I mean, I guess the thing, I mean, because I kind of had an idea of how I was gonna do the visuals in the first one that we did. For the one that we submitted to this festival, I really had a lot of fun with, putting myself in that world in terms of, like reading the script all the way through. Like I read that script a ton of times, and just like in some parts I would go through the scene in my mind and just trying to figure out how to really tell the story visually. Obviously I wanted to, obviously not just me, Billy, he wanted to have more of like the grand landscape kind of thing. And so I kind of just went with that and soared, because I love nature. So I really had to, I was very passionate with that part. So I would say the thing that I most learned, or something that I feel like will benefit me, is really putting myself in that world, and finding the locations that best show what the world of Earl is like. So world building, necessarily, I would say.
Yeah, you were saying that you enjoy the cold while everyone else.
Well, I didn't necessarily enjoy the cold. I just really enjoyed the
None of us did.
No, it looks very nice. Snow looks great.
So
Just didn't
wait,
feel-
you're saying that this is a feature that you are making
Currently
into?
developing.
The one that we have is the 15 minutes is a proof of concept of this huge feature that I have just finished writing an 8th draft of, and me and Colin are currently trying to get it made, and we're really pushing for that.
That's
So that's
fantastic.
the big producing one right now is just getting people attached and interested, and
just getting
things
people
like
to see
that.
it. That it's becoming very difficult, but it's becoming easier.
It's
and we're
easier.
starting to learn.
It's been a huge learning curve,
Oh, yeah.
trying to understand the industry a lot more, and just finding the right people to talk to has really been the biggest learning curve.
No, I mean, like, I think it's so cool that you guys. Well, I mean, like, is this your first time at the Garden State Film Festival?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So you're saying that your biggest curve is finding people. This is such a huge networking opportunity. So, like, congratulations on getting in. Are you guys planning on coming to the festival?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are.
Yes,
Definitely are.
That's fantastic, because what you're saying right now is like, you're trying to meet people. You're going to meet people. So like, this is going to be a great networking opportunity for you guys. I'm actually really excited. I think it's so cool that you're writing drafts to turn this into a feature.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of drafts. I'm writing this for like a year and a half, I'd say. It's been,
okay. No, that's and this is your first work out of high school.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's our first. It would be our first feature film, like, but out of high school, we did a short called "Having a Clue," where the whole thing was a one shot. That was probably our first time doing a.
And I'm the youngest of the
Yeah.
group, and so for me, I was still in high school for that, which helps because I was playing a high school character. But but my first project, I guess, outside of that would then have been a sequel to a previous short film. So it was just kind of more of a comedy 80s sitcom thing, and that was I think the first thing I worked on outside of school. After school, I guess I should say.
Because we still.
We made a lot of stuff. Honestly.
I think it's awesome that you guys are coming. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to meeting you guys all in person. You seem like such a cool bunch. So, with that said, I know you guys are going to be jumping back on pretty soon. So I will see you guys soon. And you guys can all see the film Earl screening on Saturday, March 25th at Asbury Lanes from 12:15 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. You guys, again, thank you so much for jumping on with me, and I will see you soon.
Yes.
See you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Having us.